Hello everyone and welcome back to another Sunday Sunshine Show. So this week's topic is a coffee chat with me, reminiscing, talking about things from your childhood or whatever. It's quite an open one this week, so if that's something you're interested in, please stay tuned. So I'm reminiscing from my childhood days, and the first things that come to mind for me are my lovely Nana. I lived down the bottom of a big hill, and I used to walk to school every day and with my friends, and I'd walk home at lunchtime. And every lunchtime she'd be there on the doorstep waiting with a Mars bar, one for me and one for my friend. And it never changed. Monday to Friday, every day she was there with a Mars bar. I was absolutely sick to death of Mars bars. I really was. But I didn't have the heart to tell her, bless her. So I used to take them home, put in the cupboard. My dad used to eat them and that. But yeah, she was a character. And I remember we used to go to her house sort of thing. And we used to go get on a Friday night. And I remember it used to be High Chaparral on the telly. We'd all be sat round in front of the fire and that. She'd have a little bowl of sweets on the table for us and we could sort of have our nibble of the sweets, little board sweets and things and that. And then as soon as we stood up, before we left the room, she'd be there puffing up the cushions behind you. She just couldn't wait for you to get out the door, but she had to do it there and then. Her bungalow was absolutely spanking. I remember she never had a vacuum cleaner. She always used to go around on her hands and knees with a dustpan and brush, and it was immaculate. Even till the day she died, she was still doing that. And I suppose it was exercise for her as well, but she was a very petite lady, my nanny Ida, and yeah, she was lovely. And another thing that she used to do, if you sat down and she noticed you had a thread on something, a hem coming down or a button coming loose, she'd be getting the needle cotton out, handing it over to you. So, right, can you do that? Oh, do it when I get home, Nan. No, do it now. You might lose it. Go on, do it now. So you'd have to do it. So you sit there and you'd be sewing your hem up or whatever. And she wasn't contented till it was done. But yeah, she was a lovely lady. What else can I remember from my childhood? I remember the teenage years. The first time going into town on the bus. It was a big adventure on a Saturday. Me and a couple of my friends would go in, catch the bus, you'd sit at the top looking out the front, you feel so grown up. You'd have your little bit of pocket money and we'd go into town. And I remember we used to go in Chelsea Girl. I'd go in there, the music was playing, the lights were all quite low and all these fashionable items of clothing. And you go in there and sort of, had some money, you purchase something or go and try it on. And it was just a lovely feeling. And then we used to go in Rumbelows. It used to be like a TV rental shop that used to sell records. We'd have a look at the top 20, sort of they'd have music playing. And if you had any money, you might come home with a single. Yeah, those were the days. They were good, weren't they? And I remember Wimpy. We didn't go in Wimpy very often, but if we did, it used to be with my mum and dad. We'd go in there. It was a treat. It was a treat then. It wasn't an everyday occurrence. We'd go in there and have a treat, have a Wimpy. And I remember the plastic containers with the ketchup in on the table and the smell of the burgers and that. It's amazing what things stick in your mind, isn't it? And I remember outside my nan, she moved to a bungalow, but before that, she used to live in an old cottage down in a little place called Eastrup. We used to park in a lay-by sort of opposite the cottage, and there always used to be a gas smell, constant gas smell there. And but that sticks in my mind as well. And I remember in the house she had as well then, you'd walk in the hallway and she'd have a big pitcher, a bowl with a pitcher jug in and that. And I can remember the smell from that property. And I remember my granddad used to be down in the shed and have his onions hanging and sometimes some pheasants and things. And just the smells, they stay with you, don't they? And I remember my mum and dad, my dad used to work on a farm, help out on a farm on a Sunday morning, and I remember sort of every Sunday sort of coming to the back of the house, just smelling his boots, you know, with the manure smell on them and what have you in the porch. Yeah, those smells linger, don't they? You don't forget those smells. What else can I remember? I think in our era, I mean, I'm 65 this year. I know a lot of my viewers are similar age to me, a little bit younger, a little bit older. I think we grew up in the good times, the good days. There didn't seem to be the worry that we have now for kids. You're scared to let them out of your sight, aren't you? They have no freedom really nowadays. We were lucky, we'd be out and about on our bikes. Now I remember going out for picnics, going down the lane, taking a picnic with us. I remember Raleigh set up a big bike, take a picnic with us and a blanket. Me and my friends would we spend all day down there by the little river and you know, having fun, messing around and come back. Or we go and play in the field with the hay bales, build dens and houses. Kids can't do that now, and they're missing out, aren't they? It's such a shame, such a shame. I also remember going to school and in the morning going in the little sweet shop, getting some penny sweets in a bag or sherbet pips and things. And that, yeah, God, the amount of sweets I used to eat. Oh, but yeah, those were the days. We were very lucky, weren't we? I remember playing at the back of our house, sort of, you know, we lived in sort of a cul-de-sac, and I remember playing out there till it was dark. A lot of nights we'd do our French skipping, we'd have a skipping rope sort of thing, you know, sort of, can't remember what we used to do, in and out and all that in it, and hopscotch and roller skating, and oh, it was just fun. I was outside all the time, all the time. It was lovely, a great childhood. Even in the winter when it was cold, snow, we were out there just having fun. And I remember in the school holidays, some holidays, sort of sitting down with my friends. We'd have our Tressie dolls, Cindy dolls. We'd have lots of outfits for them, and you know, that our mums had made, and we'd be swapping outfits and dressing them up to go out, and we sit there for hours playing with these dolls outside. Those were the good days. We grew up in the good days, no doubt about it. It's so different for kids now, isn't it? So different. You're frightened to let them out of your sight. They've all this technology, you know, on phones and iPads and things, and it's just not the same, is it? It's a shame, really, because they are missing out, aren't they? Another thing I remember is Saturday cinema, going to Saturday cinema. It used to be, I don't know, £1 or something like that. You go there and you go and feel so grown up watching your film in the morning, and there'd be all these adverts, and you buy an ice cream or some sweets, and it's just a lovely feeling in that transitioning period from childhood to sort of a teenager, isn't it? Having that first bit of independence. I think they still do some Saturday cinemas now, don't they, for kids to go to. What else can I remember? Remember going to nappy nights. Yes, go to nappy nights on a Wednesday at the Brunel in Swindon. Again, we get the bus in and get the 10:30 bus home, and that was a big achievement as well. You put your glad rags on and go there and have a boogie and sort of, yeah, get all dressed up together, and that was good. Yeah, I used to enjoy that. Nappy nights. I was an only child. I don't get me wrong, I had a lovely childhood. My mum and dad, oh, I loved them dearly. They were so loving, and I wasn't spoiled, but I never went without anything, and they worked hard. I remember I used to feel sort of a little bit lonely at times, think, oh, why haven't I got a brother or sister? And that, but I had a lot of good friends, and my mum and dad were always very good, let me take somebody with us. We went out anywhere, they'd always pay for somebody else to come with us, so that was good. And that, but yeah, I think more so probably when I got married and sort of had my babies, and then I'd like to have probably had sort of some brothers or sisters and had sort of nieces and nephews. That would have been nice. But I didn't, you know, and the mixed family sort of, we didn't see a lot of them, unfortunately. So yeah, well, we didn't had friends and what have you used to go out with. We're always close to my mum and dad. We always did a lot with my mum and dad and that. But now I've got 3 children of my own, grown up, and 5 grandchildren. So we've got a very busy, very busy life now. We're all very close, as you know, and we do lots of things together. And as I say, they're on holiday in Greece at the moment. They're all having a lovely time, and it really warms my heart seeing them all get on so well together. You know, and even though we're not there, they're sending pictures and that, and I just love seeing the kids and the grandkids getting on so well together and having fun. But we'll be there with them again next year, so yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, so we have a busy house here all the time, you know, sort of, it's like Piccadilly Circus, in and out when they're all here, which is lovely. I wouldn't have it any other way. I remember from the good old days, the pop man. Oh, can you remember the pop man? He used to come round on his lorry, didn't he, selling pop. And I can never understand why they've changed from glass to plastic. They're going on about plastic being bad for you and all that now. Why don't they go back to glass? That recycling, you know, washing, sterilising the bottles, you used to get money back on the bottles, didn't you? So everybody return them because you'd have your money back on them, and they'd be reused again. You wouldn't have all this recycling to pay for that you've got now, these recycling rounds, and plastic being bad for you. Why don't they go back to glass? I just can't understand it. And the milk was delivered on the doorstep, and if it was a really icy cold frosty morning, it would raise up, wouldn't it? You'd have the milk would come out of the bottle, and it'd have the little silver foil top on it, and the birds would peck at it. So yeah, they were the good old days, and it would be nice to go back to glass. There's all this stupid plastic, wouldn't it? It's not good for us. I think so. I remember the coalman as well. A coal lorry come round, he'd have the bag of coal on his back and come put it in the coal bunker. And you'd have your coal fires. I remember my mum and dad sweeping out the coal in the morning, cleaning the fire, and yeah, getting the coal bunker all topped up and that. And it used to give a damp sort of air, didn't it, in the house sort of thing. It wasn't, I used to get a lot of bronchitis, so it wasn't good for your breathing and all that. I mean, nowadays they've got log burners and things that are all enclosed, aren't they? A lot better. But yeah, I think my mum and dad had a ray burner, so it was enclosed and that. But yeah, it's a different sort of heat. Radiators give a dry heat, don't they? I think sort of coal fires, ray burners, all that sort of thing give. Well, I suppose the old houses were damper, I suppose, weren't they? They weren't so well insulated. Perhaps that's what it was. But it's nice to wake up in a warm house, not have to go and clear down the fire, isn't it, from the night before? Or go to bed worrying if it's gone out properly or whatever. But they are romantic, aren't they? And they are nice and cosy if you've got a nice log burner. What else can I remember? I can remember my mum and dad used to have electric meter. Yeah, it wasn't gas, it was just electric. And I remember the man used to come around every so many weeks to empty the meter. He'd have his big leather bag. I can remember the smell of the leather bag. And I think it was shillings. It must have been shillings. He'd have them all piled up on the front of his bag. He'd empty the meter. He'd empty out, have a big pile of coins on the table. Then he'd take so much. He'd leave my mum so much. And then she used to give me a cup of a little treat. But I remember from that the smell of that leather bag. Yeah. What else can I remember? I remember my mum and dad bought their first touring caravan. It was a little Sprite. It was a little tiny little Sprite. It was all well equipped and that, and we went off and that was brand new. And that was my first experience sleeping on a bunk bed. So the 2 seats at the front went into a double bed, and then there was like a little seat at the back that had it was like went into a single bed, and it had like it was like 2 poles that hooked in with this mesh that went between to make a top bunk. And I remember going to get on there the first night, and I pulled the back one and sort of went straight through. I'm quite clumsy at those sort of things. But yeah, it was good. It got us away and we had some lovely holidays. Nice to take friends and that with me. And then they upgraded to a static caravan, which was nice. You had more room, more space, because it was a tiny little touring caravan. But yeah, we went all over in that. We had some fun. Another thing I remember, I used to suffer with terrible travel sickness. I still do, actually. I'm not a very good traveller at all. And the cars used to have leather seats, didn't they? And I can't remember the different models my mum and dad had, but I remember on a Sunday they used to like to go out for a drive, Sunday drive, and we'd take a picnic, a flask and whatever, which was nice. But I'd be in the back, I'd have to lay on the back seat because I'd be swaying around. Sort of, they used to be quite bouncy, these cars, didn't they? And I used to feel quite nauseous and that. And I'd be, oh, we're there yet? Are we there? Can we go home? Can we go home? I go see my friends and that. But yeah, they used to like going for a nice picnic on a Sunday afternoon, which is nice. I love picnics now. I must admit, I love going for picnics with the family. Since lockdown, we have quite a few picnics out and about, and they're lovely. They are lovely. What else can I remember? I think that's it, really. There's probably loads of other things if I sit and actually think about it. I remember my mum and dad, we had lots of fresh fruit and veg all the time. You know, we ate quite healthy. You know, back in the day, we had, you know, good healthy food. And I remember in the kitchen, we used to have like a larder cabinet, to have a pull down tray, you'd have your butter in that. You never kept your butter in the fridge then, I suppose, because it was a block, wasn't it? I remember that sitting in a butter dish and that, you know, in the cabinet. And oh, my mum used to do lots of fried bread. We used to have fried bread or eggy bread. Can you remember that? Yeah, we used to have a Sunday roast every Sunday then. I think we were very lucky. We had lots of veg in my granddad's allotment. He used to grow all his own veg and that. So we used to eat quite healthy. And then at Christmas, Christmas Day, we'd have all my mum's family over one day on Christmas Day. Then Boxing Day, we'd have all my dad's family over. We used to have big Christmas parties, really, really good Christmas parties. And all the trimmings, you used to put all the trimmers up on the ceiling, didn't you? You'd have the paper balls and lanterns and things and, you know, all the decorations going across and balloons. You really went to town, didn't you, with Christmas and that then? And I remember, oh, sweets. I used to have so many sweets on Christmas Day. I'd have my stockings and selection boxes and tubes of sweets. I used to empty them all into a big biscuit tin after. And because they were there, I still rather go to a shop and get some penny sweets, and my dad used to eat them. Oh, as well as the Mars bars for my nana. What else can I remember? It's lovely to reminisce, isn't it? I remember in the sweet shop, you know, sort of the penny sweets and sherbet pips, sherbet dabs. Oh, you can still get a lot of them now, can't you? It's lovely having all these memories, isn't it? I can remember as well, my mum, I had a dinner dancing to go to and I didn't have anything to wear. And I was staying with my friend in a caravan down Devon. Her mum and dad had a static caravan as well. And I was staying down there with her, and it was at the weekend. And she had a lovely long maxi dress to wear. And I thought, what am I going to wear? And anyway, my mum and dad come down to their cabin on the weekend, surprised me. My mum had actually made me a maxi dress thing to wear, and oh, it was so lovely. And she spent all week, got some fabric and made it for me, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I felt the bee's knees in it. Yeah. You miss your parents, don't you? You don't realise till you haven't got them how much you do miss them. What else? Life's so short, isn't it? You know, you make all these memories and that, and it's good to have the memories, isn't it? But you just want, you know, all these things to go on forever, don't you? You know, the good times with your family and what have you, and your friends. But unfortunately, they don't. They all come to an end, don't they? But you've still got the memories to remember them. That's good. So it's all about making memories. That's what life is, really, isn't it? You know, live each day to the full, make these memories so you've all got them to reminisce and remember the fun times. I remember as well, when mum and dad had a caravan down Devon, I remember they purchased a rubber dinghy, and we used to sort of float around in that sort of thing on a piece of string. And then my dad, Mick, when I was with Mick, they used to go fishing in it in the morning, this little rubber dinghy, go out there fishing and come back and catch a mackerel. And then my mum would cook it for breakfast. I didn't like mackerel, so I never used to eat it, but yeah, they used to do that. And we used to go to, they had their caravan at a site called Ladron Bay in Devon. And we used to do a lot of walking. You know, we were lucky, we used to go most weekends down there, and Friday to Sunday. And we'd walk one way from like Ladron Bay over Peak Hill down into Sidmouth and back. Yeah, it was probably an hour's walk there, an hour's walk back, and then the next day we might walk the other direction, Budley Salterton, over the cliff tops and back. We did a lot of exercise back in the day then. And we used to go to a lot of pubs as well. We'd go out and have pub meals, and back then, you know, I remember sort of my dad had had a few pints and drive us home. Yeah. God, you wouldn't want to do that now, would you? It's not safe, you know, sort of, you wouldn't drink and drive at all now, but then you did. Yeah, you'd have, you know, a few pints and think nothing of driving home, you know. How stupid was that, you know? You never forgive yourself, you knock somebody over, hurt somebody or kill somebody, would you? But yeah, people did, yeah, did. And they just smoked, didn't they, in pubs and that then, and used to go to stink of smoke and that. At least now it's all outside, isn't it? You know, they're not allowed to smoke in pubs, so that was their benefit, wasn't it? That was good. I used to smoke as well myself. Mum and Dad always smoked, so as a teenager I started smoking secretly. My friend who used to stay with down Devon quite a lot, her mum and dad worked in the wheels factory in Bristol. So they used to have big bags of cigarettes in their end bedroom in the caravan. We used to go and top our packets up, didn't cost us a penny. I think I smoked probably from about 15, I suppose, till I was pregnant with my first child, so which I think was about 22, something like that. And then I gave up and never started again. But yeah, silly things we do, isn't it? As, you know, sort of big fat grown up smoking, drinking a cigarette in my hand, you know, felt the bee's knees. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little reminisce with me. It's just a chatty video because we've all been quite busy the last few weeks, a lot going on, and it's holiday season as well, isn't it? So we thought we'd put in a couple of chatty ones just to sort of keep the Sunday Sunshine show going, but we've got lots more planned coming up. Lots more interesting ones, so you know, please stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, helps us out a lot, and we've got a lot more content coming up for you, we really have. So please pop over to Tina's channel, so that's Tina and Tina's Talk Time and Maree, Busy Bee Maree. I just watched Maree's visit to Sudona, said that right, and that was lovely, their road trip, her and her husband went. I really enjoyed that video. So if you're at loose end, you want a good video to watch, that was brilliant. Maree's videoing is so good, the music in it, and her husband in it, they're a good duo, and I really enjoyed just seeing something different. So I'll link it in the description box for you down below in case you're interested. Take a look. So take care everyone, have a good week, and hopefully we'll see you back here next Sunday for next Sunday Sunshine Show. Bye for now. Bye.